Hey folks, what's up? I'm Big Bugga and I hope I look a little different. I've had my gastric bypass as of May 25th. I am down to 389 pounds. That is from 440 pounds. And my heaviest weight, I was nearly 490. So I've come a long way in 3 years, but I'm a little concerned. I'm battling at the 489 line. I would usually have ups and stalls. This is common when you get weight loss. You stall, and you won't lose weight for a few days, and then eventually you'll move on, and your weight will drop. You can even gain a few pounds. Usually it's water weight. I've been 489 for a little while, and it's bumped up to 490, 489, 492. It keeps going back and forth, back and forth, and the stall I can deal with in the long run. This back and forth has me concerned. It makes me feel like maybe I'm eating too much already. Even though I've been trying really hard to maintain 5 small meals a day. But the reality is I am eating too much. Like right now, I just had a piece of kielbasa in a bun. I should have just had the kielbasa, first off. Or I should have cut the kielbasa in half and had it in half a bun. Because the way I feel right now is I'm a little too full, and I do this every time. And I need to cut back on what I eat even further. I'm not ready for as much as I'm eating. I'm kind of pushing things. Over the next couple years, you're supposed to go up and even continue to lose weight to bigger portions. And I'm going a little bit too fast for that, and I need to slow down because this is my only chance at this. I'm not going to get a second round. If I mess this up and start gaining weight again and get up into the 400s and 450s, that's it. I'm done. I don't think I'll ever get back under, so I really got to take this seriously. I'm trying to get to a gym to join it. I don't walk outside. I don't. I don't like walking outside. I just people. They see a fat man walking and they look at you and they stare at you, and it just makes me uncomfortable. I can't deal with it anymore. I used to be able to. I used to be able to not care, but I can't deal with it anymore. I really can't. Uh, so, how are gyms better? Well, they're not, but at least they're air conditioned, and I don't know. It's easier for me with headphones in the gym than it is on the street. And gyms can actually be a little more encouraging. People see a big man in the gym, and if they see him there for a while and that he's trying, it can actually be supportive. I don't know. I want to try. I'm 389 pounds. It's about time I started going to the gym and walking on a treadmill or something. I have noticed a difference in things I can wear, and being able to reach around my body more. Like when I go to scratch a spot under my leg, I can reach all the way under my leg now. I'm not like straining. I can actually put my hands behind my back and cuff them really, really tight when I used to strain just to get my fingertips together. So there has been a lot of difference, but I needed to go further. I want to drop within the next couple months, and I don't know if it'll be possible, at least 30 pounds. 30, 87, 63, 40 pounds. I want to get under 350. That way I can get this hernia I've had for the longest time taken care of at Sturdy Hospital. That's really, really, really what I want to do. If you hear some humming or something in the background, it's my fan and my AC going. Quite frankly, it's been hot up here in New England. It's probably been hot in many places. But it's been hot, humid, New England summer. So fan. The AC isn't strong enough for up here because it's all wide open and all that cold air likes to go down into the living room. With the fan going, it pulls the air over faster, so it helps cool off up here better, and actually helps cool off downstairs as well. So yeah, I have lost significant weight, but I have a long fucking way to go, and I need to hammer down a little bit harder at what I'm doing. And I really do have a bad impulse when it comes to food. If food is available to me, I want to eat it. And I struggle and I struggle and I struggle not to eat it, but I eat it anyways. And I need to push harder to not. Okay, that out of the way. I actually have tried to record multiple vlogs lately, but none of them made me happy. I felt like I spaced out too much, and I tried talking about things I want to talk about, but they just came across as wrong, and I couldn't bring myself to upload them. So that's why you haven't heard from me in a while. I've been trying, I just haven't been able to put things together. However, the weight thing for now being not going up, there have been positives in my life. First off, I have a 28-foot camper trailer sitting outside, travel trailer, a Terry Taurus. It may be more than I can chew. I may have bit off more than I can chew here, but I have a title. I have a title coming for it, a clean title, registration. It tows perfect. It needs a bathroom floor replaced. It needs to be cleaned out, and I need to test if things work. And it needs a couple other things, like the emergency window needs the latches fixed, and a couple other things that need to be done. I don't know. I may spruce it up a little, turn around and sell it, and try and get a smaller one, because I think I really bit off more than I can chew. I can tow it with my Envoy, but it's really overmatched. And even though I really don't intend to use the trailer till next year, if I use it at all, that Envoy, I don't really know if it's good to tow something this big with it. I towed it all the way from Haverhill to here. This is something like a 70-mile trip. But there was a lot of, every time a big truck would go by, a stiff breeze, it took a lot to control. And a lot of that comes from the fact that the Envoy is like small for towing something that big, even if it's rated for the weight. Physically, it's small for something that gigantic. So I don't know. That's up in the air right now. But at the very worst, I can recoup most of my money on it. I bought it for $950. I can turn around with a clean title that I managed to get for it. I didn't have a title when I bought it. I took a big risk. I was able to get a title for it. I can turn around and probably get at least the $950 back and only lose out on the registration, tax, and title fees. And I could take that $950 and look for a smaller one around $1,000 if I wanted to, which I might. That's not out of the realm of possibility. Another thing that happened, I've got my CDL permit again. No air brakes this time, but it's a passenger endorsement school bus and general knowledge test. I passed them very well. I went to my first day of training today with a local school bus company, Holmes. They have quite the fleet. They have quite the fleet of school buses. And the trainer, who's an older woman, been driving 30 years. 30 years been driving a school bus. 30 years. I don't know whatever. She's really good. She's very strict about driving, but she's funny. She's laid back. She's really nice. I actually really enjoy her. There's also the other trainer who I believe is named Beth. She's actually a really nice trainer. She's really sweet. And enjoyed with her. All the people that I drove with today, and I drove with all women. There are 2 other male trainees with me. There are more than just us. There's 7 of us total there today, but there's more than that. But there's 3 guys, I think. Yeah, 3 guys and 4 girls. And I was just with all girls today, which is really cool. But no, I'm kidding. Well, almost. I'll explain in a minute. But we had one school bus driver from Providence who's transferring over to Massachusetts, one very nervous new prospect, and one confident new prospect who actually drove really well. The nervous prospect, it's her nerves that are getting her. She's actually really good at what she's doing. It's just going to take time and practice for her. She's pretty much a natural at it. Getting over the bad habits for the school bus driver out of Rhode Island is actually going to prove to be a challenge. She's very confident, but maybe to the point of being overconfident. And then there's me. And I gotta be honest, I was the only bus driver who really only has one bad habit. Everyone else had to be check your mirrors, do this turn or do that. And no, you did this. for me, I only had to be told, and I continued to do it. It's a bad habit. They call reaching inside the steering wheel. I drive like this, on the steering wheel, holding the centerpiece rather than the outsides. I hold the centerpiece, and when I go to turn, I tip my hand upside down and reach under to turn the wheel. And you're not really supposed to do that. And that's a habit from my Envoy. When I'm driving my Envoy, I'll tip under it and pull it around, or tip this way and pull it around. So you're not supposed to do that. Oh man, I look freaking pasty white under this light. So that's the one problem I had. Otherwise, I did fine. The only things I need to brush up on is the railroad crossing, because in Hawaii there's only one railroad and you never cross it. And the pre-trip, because the pre-trip for Massachusetts, as well as it being school bus, is very different than the pre-trip I did in Hawaii, which was on a coach. Coaches are much easier to do pre-trips on than school buses. School buses are much more detailed, much more involved, because you can reach a lot more than you can a coach. So, and Hawaii is a lot more laid back than Massachusetts. So I need to brush up on those, but I think they're going to try and help rush me through. They're going to try and speed me through so that I'm not... There's a chance I may not do all the driving hours I need, which is 60 hours on the road. That sounds like a lot, but it's actually three like total days. They may kind of push it through, because the lead trainer Tanya came to me and said, I know you can drive, and we're going to try and work around with that. Because they want us all on the road. They want us all with our Class B license before school starts. And there's always, at the very, very least, there's always a demand for school bus drivers. Wherever you go, there's always a demand for school bus drivers. So that's cool. Plus, it's very easy to get my air brake endorsement if I shift to a company at some point where it requires air brakes, like coaches, or maybe even driving a cement truck, something like that. All I'll have to do is take the written test, and then I go back and do the air brake portion of the test, which is actually really easy. So that's really good. It's really positive. It's going to bring in a lot more money for me, because I'm losing my disability. I'm no longer disabled. I haven't lost it yet, but I might lose it by August, so I may suffer a month in August without that income. Because if I do start working for home, if all this goes right, and I see no reason why it doesn't, the school year starts like August 18th or something like that. So I'm not going to get paid till, I'm not going to start earning money until like mid-August, maybe even September, because if they go into 2 weeks, I think they skip a week. So I'll have to go like a month working without actually getting paid. So I could suffer financially for a little while, but we'll see. I don't know how it works. I don't know if they do weekly or bi-weekly pay or what it is. We'll see what happens. But once that starts, I'll be making more money than what Social Security gave me. Plus, I have my PCA job. Plus, if I want to, I can continue Ubering 1 to 2 days a week. But I got to make sure I try and pick up on my housework. I've really been slacking on my housework, and I need to stop. I need to start taking care of things here a bit more. So that's really positive. Another positive thing is I have started to live life a little bit more. And not because I'm lighter. I may be smaller, but I'm still nearly 400 pounds. I'm still a fat man. When you lose like an entire teenager's worth of weight, young teenager's worth of weight of about 100 pounds, and you still a fat man, how big were you before? But be that as it may, I'm starting to live life a little bit more, and that comes in going to events and doing things outside the house. I know a massage parlor that I regularly go to now, once a month, maybe twice a month. It's $60 for a massage. I've also started going to events, something I've never done before. Last night, which is Monday night, still for me, I went to WWE's Monday Night Raw for the first time ever, going to a Monday night, going to a WWE event live, and the first time going to any kind of event since, no, yeah, the first time going to any kind of major event since I went and saw Gabriel Iglesias in Hawaii. I think that was about a year or two before my wife passed away. 2 years, 2 or 3 years, I think. And then I spent another year, so 4 years, 5, 6, almost like 7 years ago, 6, 7 years ago. And I didn't walk away empty-handed for sure. You can see around my neck here. This is a very heavy Roman Reigns necklace. Now, I know a lot of people aren't fans of Roman Reigns. I don't like his push like anyone else. I think he should be toned down, pulled out of the main title scene. You know, drop him back in Intercontinental. The fans seem to really like him there. Turn him a heel. Do something else with him. Get him out of the title for a while. Nobody wants him there. However, that does not mean that I do not respect Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has come a long way in a short time. His in-ring work has improved, even if he hasn't really increased his repertoire of moves. He's very much like an early John Cena. He deals in punches, kicks, the 10 clothesline in the corner, Samoan drop, Superman punch, and a spear is the vast majority of his arsenal. But he still can work well in the ring. He still does really well. As a matter of fact, on Monday Night Raw, he leapt out on he leapt over the top rope under a huge group of wrestlers outside, and he cleared that top rope by a good foot. Now keep in mind that top rope comes up to like chest level on most of the wrestlers. So if they're over 6 foot, you know, that ring's like 5, you know, that's like 5 feet up, if not a little bit more. And he cleared that by at least a foot. It was impressive to see live. So did I enjoy the show? Yeah, but it wasn't a great show. Raw has really been suffering and struggling lately. And had I known, I might not have gone to Raw had I known that SmackDown was going to be in Manchester, New Hampshire, which is not that much further away for me. And there was still plenty of seats available for SmackDown at the time. I still could have gone to see SmackDown. And I could have actually seen wrestlers, I mean, on Raw, wrestlers I wanted to see. Nia Jax, Braun Strowman, Kevin Owens. That was pretty much it. That was it. And I did get to see all of them. You know, I have an absolute crush on Nia, okay? I'm just going to come out and say it. Everyone knows I love a BBW woman. I love a big-bodied woman. Not necessarily 6 foot something, but, you know, I'm not going to fuss over height. But Nia, I think, is absolutely beautiful. She is a beautiful, beautiful big woman. And I have an absolute crush on her. Thankfully, I'm not a creep, and I'm not going to like stalk her or send her all kinds of weird emails or whatnot. I just really have a crush on her, you know, and I enjoy watching her work in the ring. She's come a long way from what she was when she started as well on the Raw roster. I almost thought I wasn't going to see Braun Strowman, but he ended up in the dark match after the live TV event. For anyone who has not gone to a WWE event, or maybe you're planning to go at some point, if it's a televised event, there is always a segment that will take place after the main event. And a lot of people don't seem to know this because a lot of people were leaving after the main event. After the main event, Braun Strowman came out, Roman Reigns came out, tag teamed with Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens, who came out, and Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. It wasn't a very long match, but it was a very fun. I mean, this is the great thing about the after main event dark match. It'll always involve big names. It'll always be more fun and lax and laid back because they're not being televised. They can have fun. They're just really, 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 really good, quick. Like, thank you for coming. Here's something a little extra the crowd at home doesn't get to see. So that was really nice. But otherwise, There was a bigger pop for a Chad Gable, not Curtis Axel, Kurt Hawkins. I'm embarrassed that I actually have trouble remembering that because there was a bigger pop for that match. The crowd was firmly behind Hawkins to win because Hawkins supposed to have this huge losing streak going on. And I think Hawkins is really underrated. I watched his work in the ring. Seeing it live is very different than seeing it on TV. And I very much enjoyed seeing him in the ring. I was actually really impressed by him. His ability to fly and the offensive moves he could do and everything like that was really great. And that event will actually be on Friday night main event coming up at the end of the week. I'm not giving anything away by saying who it was. You can guess the outcome if you want. I'm not going to give it away. But the crowd was firmly behind him to win. Then there was another tag team match it was the Authors of Pain versus Titus Worldwide, and the crowd popped really big for that match. Most of the matches on the main show, though, the crowd could have cared less. The Seth Rollins Drew McIntyre main event was huge. The crowd was really into it. The Nia Jax and Natalya versus Mickie James and Alexa Bliss. No, not you, Alexa. My Amazon Echo activated. That match got a pretty good reaction, but the other matches were just like, yeah. Don't get me wrong, I appreciated and loved the matches. I appreciate every WWE superstar, from the main eventers to the curtain jerkers to the middle matchmen, which a lot of people think the curtain jerkers is the worst place to be. The middle matches, the piss break matches, are the worst matches because people are getting up, they're getting nachos and hot dogs and drinks, and they're going to the bathroom during your match. This is how much they don't care about your match, is that they're getting up and going to do stuff because they don't care if they see it or not. So, being in the middle, being the piss break matches is what is really the most difficult. Another person that impressed me very much was Mojo Rawley. God, he's so underappreciated. Everything he does in that ring looks like it hurts. He looks like he hits like a truck. He's got amazing athleticism. He jumped up onto the ring and then jumped up over the top rope, and it looks like he glided. This is a big dude, right? He is big, and he's jumping around, gliding things like he's a cruiserweight. But everything he does has a massive impact. He was very, very impressive in the ring. And he's just so underrated, but what can you do? He doesn't really have a gimmick. He's just a big, tough guy. And, well, as big, tough guys goes, you got Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, Bobby Lashley. That's hard to compete against. Especially when they don't let you have that personality, you know? But besides that, the event was really good overall. However, SmackDown was coming to Manchester, and people I'd like to see on SmackDown: AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, Rusev, Charlotte Flair. Trying to think of who else, because I know there's more. Which I can't think of them off the top of my head right now. Oh, Matt Hardy. Definitely Matt Hardy is another one. Just so many I'd love to see on the SmackDown roster versus Asuka, definitely another one. But so many on the SmackDown roster I'd rather see than on the Raw roster. Had I known, I would have bought the Manchester tickets instead of the Boston tickets, and instead of having that back there, the licorice title, as I heard somebody call it, I would have had the black World Heavyweight Championship title, replica belt. Now that is the big replica belt, right? It's not the small ones. That is the actual. I swear it would not surprise me if the actual WWE Championship is one of those, that the diamonds and rubies and all that are just crystals like are within this one, and the gold is not actual gold. Would not surprise me because that belt is heavy. It's genuine leather. The brass buttons on it are real. That thing is heavy, and it cost me $425. Yeah, and I bought it. Apparently, I was hit by a seizure of insanity for a little while, but I don't regret it. I love having it up there. I've always wanted a replica title belt, and even though of all the belts, that one is my least favorite, it's my first, and I got it at an event. I intend to collect the World Heavyweight title. I intend to collect the WCW World Heavyweight Championship, the big gold belt. That's actually $320. I checked it online. I want the Intercontinental title as well, which is white. I don't care about other belts beyond that. I may look for some commemorative ones, like Stone Cold Steve Austin belt or the old Eagle Wing belt that Hulk Hogan used to wear. They still make those. I may go for some of those. But each belt runs between, of the ones I mentioned, the World Heavyweight title goes for $425 like that. All the other ones run about $320. So I'm not going to be buying them quickly. Maybe every few months if I save enough money. But I took a dive because I've always wanted a replica belt. And there it is. And I absolutely love it. Sitting next to the belt on either side is AJ Styles gloves. I know it's AJ Styles, the world champion of SmackDown. He doesn't wear that title. He wears the black title. But what can you do? I don't have the black title, so I put that up there. Like I said, I also got this, which is a Roman Reigns necklace. This thing is solid. All right, it may have cost $10. It may not be worth a full $10 in the metal that it's made out of, but it is solid. This chain is strong. It really is. This chain will not snap off you casually like a lot of other chains. You can't just hook it, it'll break. Right? And this medallion is heavy. Right? This thing is heavy. The total weight of this chain I found out is 2 pounds. And I found it out because I stepped on the scale and the scale told me I weighed 392, and I went, you got to be kidding me, I went up 3 pounds again? And I went, well, you know, this is, and I thought it's stupid. I said, it's stupid, but I took this off. 390. Not 392, 390. So this necklace is 2 pounds of metal. That is impressive. But I also got a couple more things. This is actually the bag that comes with the title belt. That comes with its own bag for you to put it in if you want. That's actually laundry. Hang on, I'll find it. The only reason I got this shirt is because it was $20 when all the other shirts were $35. And you can see here, man, it is. Let me back up a little bit so I can see better. There we go. Suplex City, Boston, Massachusetts, city limits. Brock Lesnar, Suplex City shirt. I was there on the back. I'm not a Brock Lesnar fan. I respect him. Again, like Roman Reigns, I absolutely respect Brock Lesnar. He is a powerhouse. He has been fairly successful in MMA. Fairly successful. He was the champion, yeah, but look at his win-loss record. It tells a different story, okay? But he was fairly successful in MMA. Wherever he goes, he can draw attention. And he is guaranteed to bring a crowd, whether it be wrestling or MMA. He is guaranteed to bring a crowd. He's a very, very smart businessman. But I'm still not a fan of him. But I can't turn down a really good t-shirt like this for $20. And Suplex City, hey, it's pretty good. But my favorite, and I could only get it in a 2X, which is hilarious when you consider the man that is supposed to represent is 6'8" and nearly 400 pounds of monster. Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman is my absolute #1 favorite wrestler, which is why I went to Raw. But I still would have passed up seeing him if I'd known SmackDown was coming. Sorry, Braun, but SmackDown is just more fun. But Braun Strowman, this is the back of the shirt, actually. On the front, because he's recently won it. Monster in the Bank. It's usually Money in the Bank, but it's Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman is known as the monster among men, so Monster in the Bank, Braun Strowman. The shirt I'm wearing now, I'll show you. I'll tip it down here. Ta-da! This is my Total Biscuit shirt. For those of you who don't know, and I might have talked about it before, Total Biscuit was a very prominent figure in gaming news and media. He garnered millions of fans. He started out basically, I believe he started out in StarCraft a little bit, but he became popular through Warcraft, and he branched out from Warcraft, and he just went on from there. He had a very distinct voice, very distinct personality. He was one person that was always, even when arguing his side flat out, was always able to remain objective. He was the bane of bad programming in games, not having 60 frames per second, not having an FOV slider, field of vision slider, so you can get up to 90 degrees or better, field of view, things like that. He was really, really an influential force, really great guy overall, and of course he was taken recently because of colon cancer, which I believe had spread to his liver and even his lungs, and well. So this is my support of Total Biscuit. I bought this shirt when I was listening to a podcast, or I believe it was his, and it said, people wanted to set up a GoFundMe, which I think got set up anyways. He said, you know what, I really don't need donations. I've been working very hard to make sure that my wife and family will be set up even after things happen. He said, but if you truly want to support me, if you truly want to help and support my wife in the aftermath, he said, do things like continue to watch my channel, continue to watch the live streams, the podcast on my channel. My wife will be taking over. Continue to support her. Go, and then this is what he said, go and buy the merchandise. Go and buy the shirt. He said the overhead on the shirt is ridiculously low. They make huge profits on selling shirts. And when I heard that, I went and bought a shirt. That was the support I gave. And I hope maybe, if it's needed, I'll do more in the future. But something to remember the cynical Brit by, and supporting his family a little bit. And I'm always very, very proud, very, very happy to wear this shirt. So, yeah. And to give you an idea of what I mean living life, I saw the Raw show this past Monday on August 18th, which I also believe starts school. I'm going to see NXT in Lowell, Massachusetts. NXT is the WWE developmental. It's a much smaller, much more personal venue because it's developmental. I do not believe it's a televised show. I believe it's a house show. Which means, it doesn't get seen on TV. That doesn't mean it won't. Well, NXT doesn't get seen on TV. It's on the network only. But I don't think it gets aired on the network. So there's a good chance you'll actually see a lot of fresher talent among the more standard talent. But that show, I am on floor section C, row B. I'm ringside. I love NXT. I don't know who's going to be there, but people I hope to see, possibly Heavy Machinery. I really love the Heavy Machinery tag team. I've loved them. They're not doing much right now, and it really kind of, I know one guy in Heavy Machinery was injured, and it really just, I love these guys. I think they're a great, energetic, babyface, big man tag team, and one of them was like big, wide, squat. He's, he's not the typical big man. I just absolutely love him. I hope Lars Sullivan's there again. I love the big guy. I love the big powerhouses, the giants. Just like Braun Strowman being my favorite. Even Drew McIntyre, even though he's not your typical big man, is still a big powerful man. Lars Sullivan is definitely one. There's just so many I want to see there. Aleister Black, Johnny Gargano. So many I hope are there. And they may not be because it's a house show. But then again, maybe they will be. It's hard to tell. And then I found out, using a special promo code, which I'm not going to give out here. It's not my code to give. Anyone who went to the TD Garden last night could go to Ticketmaster and from the 9th to the 15th, order tickets before they go on sale for a WWE Super Show. So in other words, it hasn't been named yet. It may be a big pay-per-view. It could be a big pay-per-view in Boston, October 21st. I am in floor section E, which is along the entrance ramp. Row 3 back from the ring, seat 7. It cost me $140-something, which is actually what I paid for my ticket in Raw, but I also paid for parking in advance. I paid $48 for parking. I haven't paid for parking this. There wasn't an option to pay for parking at the Garden, so I'm hoping I can do that in advance, but we've got some time before that may even become available. So I want to park at the Garden. I'm going to the show. I'm going to be at the floor. I wanted to get a VIP experience, which you get meet and greets with the superstars. You get to walk the aisle. You get to walk down and experience walking down to the ring. While things are private, there's a chance, it's not always possible, to have photo opportunities at ringside before the event starts. Just all kinds of things that could happen. And I would have done it if I didn't buy that. That is the only time I regretted paying for that, because these VIP experiences go for $400 to $600 a pop, which I would have done if I didn't buy that title. I would have done one of the 400 ones, which I get everything everyone else does. It's just different in the seats. Instead of being in chair 7, I'd have been in like chair 4 or 3 or 2, which is right up there where they come down. So you can reach out and get their hand, maybe get a hand on them, or sometimes they celebrate after the show. They'll come up and they'll interact with the crowd at ringside. Plus, you get a commemorative chair to take home, which is actually pretty cool. There's just all kinds of things that you can do. And the difference between a 400 and a 600 is like 400 is row 3, seat 2, seat 3, and seat 1 through 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 600 is row 1. Row 1, seat 1 through 4. You are up against the barrier. You are up against the barricade. So that's the difference in price. And I would have done it if I didn't buy that title. However, now that I know this is available, one of two things is going to happen. I will get a VIP experience, whether it be when they come back into Providence or Boston or New Hampshire or even Connecticut, or that's not counting the October show, or if I make enough money between now and October 21st and one of these VIP experiences is still available, I may turn around and put my ticket up for sale. I may put my floor ticket up for sale and buy a VIP experience. I might. Especially Super Show, which means there's going to be all the superstars from all the rosters there. All of them. And that's what I really, really love. So I may do that. I might. I'm not sure. I might. It's something I'm going to play by ear. But that's me living life a little bit more. I've also gained a little more confidence in that there's actually been a couple women I've met face to face. I wouldn't mind going up and asking out. And yes, if she or somebody else sees this, it could sink my boat. I just have this sinking feeling that the relationship between me and my girlfriend right now aren't going to work. I have so many issues with what she does. She tends to forget me so often. She tends to forget me. She doesn't talk to me at times. She gets so involved in what she's doing. She's gone and involved herself in so many projects. She doesn't have time for me right now. She told her friend Mage that he would be on his own stream tonight, and she's with him streaming. I've barely seen her in a week and a half. The last night was my fault because I went to see Raw. But that's the only thing I've done in the week and a half. It's all been, she's been too busy. She hasn't been around. And it hurts. I feel forgotten so much. She's just so young. She's not moved out of her house ever. She hasn't lived on her own. She hasn't lived away from her parents. So everything's been taken care of. She doesn't even have, she's 22 years old. She doesn't even have an actual job. She works with her mother in a consignment shop where she doesn't get paid for it. She doesn't know how to be responsible when it comes to paying bills and making money and saving money. Granted, it took me to getting near my 40s in order to figure out how to start doing that. But this is what she does. And it really, 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 really is aggravating. Which is why I don't think it's going to last. Plus, she's all the way in Minnesota. I don't know if I'll ever actually get to see her. I want somebody here now. And I could bring her here now. But she doesn't want to come. She's afraid to go on a plane. She's afraid. I've never been away from my parents that far. You know, the one trip she went on, I think, where she did go far to visit someone, her mother went with her. And it's like, you're 22. You're 22 years old, and you're acting like you're 15. You're afraid to leave the house. You're still tied to your parents. You have trouble remembering the boyfriend that you're supposed to love. You get yourself so involved that you forget about him. Well, you know what? If you forget about me so much, and I broached the subject to her several times, and she completely flat out denies it, then maybe I'm not as interesting to you as you think I am. Maybe you're just holding on to me because you don't want to be alone either. You know? So there's been a couple women I've taken interest in. One of them is my mother's counselor. The other one I just met today is one of the girls I'm working with. Both are big women, different builds. My mother's counselor is much more hourglass, even if she wears a girdle or a corset or something. But she's still hourglass. She's very pretty. She's got an amazing build. She's got a nice voice. But she's married. And I will not be a homewrecker. Like, even if I thought there was a chance. Forget even that. If she had come to me out of the blue and said, you know what, I think you're hot. I want to see if there's something between us. My answer would be, no, you're married. I do not homewreck. I will never homewreck. This other woman, she's built differently. She's definitely more round. I don't know if she's heavy or not, but it's just her body build. She's a different build, but she's a beautiful woman, and I found her very attractive. I talked with her a while. We were laughing. We had a very easy time getting back and forth, joking and talking and having fun, talking about this, that, and the other. So I took a casual look at her hand, and there's a wedding ring. And sure enough, not even a couple minutes later, almost like she sensed or knew or whatever, she said, oh yeah, my husband. Great. The two women that I have finally taken interest in, that I feel I could say, hey, you know what? I don't know if this is something you'd like to do or if I'm your type or not, but would you be interested sometime in meeting up somewhere during the day? If you have some free time, we could get some coffee, just sit down and talk somewhere for a little while, see if there's maybe some kind of interest in an actual formal date. This has been the only times I've done this in my entire life. And we're both married. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm lonely. I'm sitting here, haven't seen my girlfriend in God knows how long, barely talked to her. Most of the time I talk to her is for like 15-20 minutes before she goes to bed. I haven't seen her all day today since getting up since 6:30 this morning. I took one look at her while she was sleeping, in the Skype call, and that was it. It's 11 o'clock at night. It's 11:20 at night. And I've hardly talked to her in text. I am going absolutely insane with things like this. She is my priority. Okay, she's my number one. If she needs me, I'm there. If she's upset, I'm there. If she's scared, I'm there. I will always respond. I will always talk to her. I will always support her. I don't feel I get the same back. It keeps coming around this. It keeps coming around this. And I've talked to her and talked to her and talked to her and talked to her over and over and over and over and over again about this. I just talked to her about this a few days ago. And yet, here I am. I didn't see her Sunday. I didn't see her Monday. I'm not seeing her today. It's like, how often do I have to tell you before you finally start remembering me? I think it's starting to get too much. I love her. She's beautiful. She's funny. She's witty. She's got a great laugh. Being so tied to her parents with her aprons and constantly forgetting me and being embarrassed to tell her father about me because of how old I am, even though her mother's already pretty much accepted me. Her mother doesn't know me directly, but she knows that Shauna has a much older, as in more than double her age, boyfriend. And I don't know. I would kill for a woman to actually approach me and just be blunt and honest. Because I'm not very good at picking up on flirtation signals. But I would kill for a woman to just walk up with me and say, you know what? I think you're pretty nice. Would you like to go out with me sometime? I would. I really would. I'd kill for that. Yes, I am bisexual to a fair degree. I like men, I can admire men, but frankly, in my life, when I get married, I lean more to women. You know, I lean much more to women. So I want a woman in my life. It's not too late for me. I still have a chance to have kids. Just, you know, that's the one thing I've been having a hard time dealing with, is being alone constantly. Yes, my mom's here, but my mom and I can only talk about so much. My mom likes fucking terrible movies, teeny bopper, cheerleader, dancing, and all these movies, and they drive me up the damn wall. There's all kinds of other things. I mean, my mother and I, we can talk, we can laugh, we can have a good time, but it's not the same as having somebody else, like a friend, which is something I honestly lack. I don't have friends. Everyone I have is online and lives far away. One lives in Texas, another lives in Canada, another lives in Australia, my girlfriend's in Minnesota, another one lives in England. To meet somebody here. I had to go all the way to Hawaii to get married from Massachusetts. Why can't I just meet somebody from around where I live? Within 100 miles of where I live would be great. They can live in Connecticut, New Hampshire. That'd be great. They can live on western Massachusetts or eastern Massachusetts, whatever the hell. They could live, you know, out by the New York border would be fine. They could live in New York. I can drive 3 hours or so to get them in New York. I did it when I had my pet. Just somebody I could reach by driving, you know, simply, that they're not far away. Not where it'd take me 2 days to drive to. More if I take a trailer. You know, just I'd love to have somebody in my life. I really would. But here's the problem. Online social dating is not the same as it used to be. It used to be you could find legitimate sites to put legitimate ads up on. You can find legitimate sites to put legitimate ads on. To date, nowadays, even some of the most reputable sites use very underhanded tactics. And yes, this does extend to eHarmony, which is the premier dating site as far as I know. This does extend to Adult Friend Finders, which is the big casual hookup website now, because Craigslist doesn't do it anymore because of the changes in the laws. Adult Friend Finders, if you want the membership, by the way, I looked this up out of curiosity because Adult Friend Finders is how I used to find casual hookups when it was small. $40 a month for a gold member. 40, double what it used to be, which was 20. Most other places charge 20. They want $40 a month. $40 a month for a Adult Friend Finder hookup site. How's that shit? But what happens is that even if you have very little to nothing in your profile, you'll get emails, you'll get messages, you'll get contacts saying, hey, you know what, I'm interested in you, and, you know, I really think that we could be something. You'll have nothing in your profile in the beginning. What the hell, where are these people, all these coming from? They're fake. They're all fake. Whether they be computer generated or person generated, they're fake accounts that are made to get you because you can't respond and you can't see their profile unless you have a membership. Made to make you buy a membership so you can see all these people that are really interested in you. And then when you do respond, all of these accounts, every last one of these accounts are gone. They get shut down, they get deleted, or they just never respond. And suddenly you're not getting any responses. You'll get near the end of your membership, suddenly tons of people are interested in you again. It's to keep you buying. It's to keep you buying. This is a common tactic among all these casual hookups and even actual legitimate dating sites. This is what they do. So it's really, really difficult to go online now and find actual casual hookups, actual people that may want an actual relationship. Because of all these underhanded taxes just to get you to spend money. It's depressing. Because I'm not a social fly. I'm still very much in the camp of look at me. I'm 389 pounds. Balding, very common, not very flattering male pattern baldness, which is why I shave my head. Not a pretty man, not a handsome man. Some people will say I think you are, and yes, to you I am, but to the majority of people I'm not. And to a lot of the women that I would actually love to get to know and show them just how loyal and loving and caring I can be, and how much I love to spoil the person I'm with gifts, with attention, and I'm going to say it as cleanly as possible in times of intimacy, just how much I am willing to give to make my partner feel good and be happy over my own wants, needs, and desires, because my wants, needs, and desires is to make my partner feel good over myself. My ability to do all that, my desire, my wanting to do all that, my desire to learn what my partner likes. I'd love to show somebody just how much I have to give. But I have to struggle to get the attention of a waiter in a restaurant, let alone attract the eye of a woman that I might be interested in. I don't have a particular body type. I mean, I love BBWs. I love big women. I love a head. I love a large size chest, but none of it's necessary. I don't judge strictly on looks. You don't have to be BBW. You can be real thin. You don't have to have a big chest. You can be flat-chested. And if you and I get along great, I'm not going to care about the rest. I judge what's here, not what's out here. But unfortunately, most of the world nowadays looks out here first, which is why a lot of relationships fail. What can I say? I'm really resigned to being alone for the rest of my life. And it sucks. The noise you're hearing is my mom's taking the dogs out downstairs, so I'm going to use that as my cue to go. Alright folks, that's going to be me done for this vlog, and I think this one I actually will post. This is going to be one big bugger. I'm going to be signing out. See you next time. Hopefully maybe not quite as much time as the last vlog. Take care.